Check, check. Check, check. 1 2 1 2. I'll be sounding. Mhm. Check, check. 1 2. All right, I see that. I see it. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What the back about, shout? Mm-hmm. What's up with y'all family? How y'all doing? It's Brother Long repping that 228. Yep, right here on the Gulf Coast in that dirty water. That dirty water down here, man. How's everybody doing, man? So appreciate you tuned in right now. Whether you are on the live or just watching the playback, I appreciate you. If you don't mind, go ahead and hit that like button, man. We're gonna you seen the title, we're gonna continue uh that was that I had going on my last live. I ended up having to cut it short because I had to dip. I had to dip. I had to dip. I had to dip out, and I'm gonna continue today. But how y'all doing, man? I hope everything is well. Hope everybody's healthy. You know, and it's all love. It's all love. Me, I've been great. My family been great. I'm loving the progress. I trust the process, right? I trust it. I love it. I love the journey. I love challenges. I love overcoming challenges, objections, the no, you know, ever since, like being the only black kid on the all-star baseball team. Ever since then, I knew I was kind of special. Ooh, but yeah, I knew it was meant to be. I mean, that was in athletics, that was in sports. But, at a young age, it kind of, I had to look at certain, experiences a little different because, you know, growing up, you don't know about racism, black, white, this, that, and the third. But I remember the feelings when certain things was said, you know what I'm saying? You didn't really understand it, but I kind of do now, but this bill not necessarily about racism, but it's about even evening out the playing field economically. And my journey is trying to find that way, while keeping while embracing the indigenous side, while embracing the indigenous blood that I possess, that uh, my family, my ancestors, the lineage that passed down, you know, I'm embracing it. Also, we gotta put a twist. It can't be all just about that. We preach genealogy to figure out who your people are, but that's just the start, the journey. There's so many things that we're going through, and it's like we don't know who, we don't know what position we supposed to play in. We don't know what role we should be playing in. Oh man, it's not happening. It is what time? This is 3:25 a.m. I am up. I ended up locking out early last night, and man, got up, got up early. Excuse me. Excuse me. Burn. Got up early and, went outside for a little bit. Thank God for another day. Going to take a breath of that fresh air. It feels good out there too. I wish I can do that live outside. I had to put not only a pop filter on that thing, but one of them little, well, it is a pop filter, but it's the one that come on a boom mic, not necessarily a recording condenser mic, you know. But anyway, today's broadcast live, like I said, it's going to be a continuation of Mississippi Black Caucus of local elected officials, right? Which is, I came in contact, and I keep telling this story, but I want y'all to know, what I'm saying, where I come from, and how I feel like I still have a hand in helping the narrative or a voice, um, based on how I see fit to benefit our people, right? So we got this system who I think, and it is obvious, um, through many perspectives, that there's some it's not fair. Basically, it's not fair. We got the bottom end of the totem pole, and you know we're trying to figure out what to do with the hands that are dealt, right? We're trying to figure out what to do with the hands that we're dealt with. So how do we play the hands that we got? Mm, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, we're just trying to figure out what man, what the fuck, man. Trying to figure out. Um, I think I'm talking about role. You see, when I come on this thing, I really have no direction. My main part was to play the video, but I get carried on and lose concentration. But yeah, man. At the end of the day, man, I support others who are progressive. Okay, who is about progress, not making excuses, not playing the blame game, but doing the actual work. Whether you think it's community service, having a philanthropy, doing, volunteer, you know, or just helping another brother or sister out. you know, we should set all righteous people with uh we're not all perfect. We don't all believe the same thing, and we're not going to agree on the same thing. Why people can't get that through their head? That, I think when it comes to, if you will, a conscious community, and we talking about, or an indigenous conscious community, or whatever community or school of thought you come from, it doesn't matter. But we see in the different schools of thought, the different ideologies, we can't use that to unite. We have to use something else. We have to find common ground. That needs to be a bill in itself. Thank you for the grand architect for giving me that idea. Live. Yeah. So, it's I'm in Mississippi, right? I'm on the Gulf Coast, like I say, right? And you know, people say what they want about Mississippi, but I love it. I love it. Love being country. Love being talked about. Love being shunned upon. Love being, you know, the underdog group. These are the people that get it out the mud. These are the people that can't wait for the opportunity to come, to take advantage of, to get a step forward. Hungry, just looking for that way. Some of us need direction. Some of us, you know, need to be checked when we out of line, male or female, male or female. When anybody's out of line, you know, you should have that friend on the side, be like, "Hey, bro, hey, sis, you know, you got your, you grown, but you wrong. That's all. And if you mature, if you've been living, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and you're mature, that shouldn't bother you. Whether you have disagreements on that, or whether you feel like somebody was trying to correct you, or even uh, what's the word I'm looking for lack of a better word, I'll say somebody that's trying to help you, you know. But we just want, when playing this game, we wanted it to be as easy as possible. Easiest, the easiest way. And with me not saying easiest, but we want the least amount of hmm, my mind is gone. What's the word I'm looking for, y'all? Is not track it's the going against the grain. We don't need any baggage when we talking about a narrative, or what I'm saying, uniting under, it ain't got to be one ideology. That's probably that'll never happen. But what I'm saying, finding that common ground, and when we talk about you under that, which I can look at my brother and sister and be like, yeah, without even saying, you know what I'm saying, and taking that energy and doing something with it. That's what the other side don't get. They can't deal with when we actually, have built a bond that cannot be destroyed. Um, Again, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I really love the support, the good feedback I've been getting lately. You know, starting this broadcast, podcast, whatever you want to call it. You know, I do plan to kind of bridge um, my business into this school. I ain't gonna say school stuff, but to this page. This page is kind of like a alter ego slash uh slash you know avenue to talk about my family lineage with Choctaw Indians. That's my main focus of this channel. But I just don't want to, bang it, bang it, bang it, bang it. You Indian, you Indian, you ain't, whatever. I ain't, I'm just part. I just want to play a part on if you ever heard that you were Indian or had any in your family, what could you do to uh, track it down? And there's various methods of doing that, right? And that'll only tell you part of the solution. And the solution is a lot of solutions to finding that out and getting right within that right. But not everybody is, what I'm saying, like that. When the European uh, landed Brazil, the islands, Caribbean islands, what I'm saying, North America, the Americas, when they started coming to the Americas, man, we was already here. Some of y'all don't, some of y'all can't trace back to that. So when we come through, it's you know, it may rub some people the wrong way because they're not used to hearing um, that perspective. Most of us conditioned to and the education system, K through 12, you graduate, get in the real world, and you got to work, 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 work. That's what they say the American dream is. Get that college degree, get in depth. Don't worry about a trade, you know, and put interest on it, right? Put interest on it. Put the taxes with it, like Booster say. You want to verse Team G and put the taxes with it. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to the boot. You know what I'm talking about? We gotta do better. We gotta do better, but how? When? Where do we start? I think you can start just by doing you. And when the stars align, it's gonna happen organically. The opportunity be right there in front of your face when you just do you. And when you got righteous intentions. When you want the good to be for your people, it's only a matter of time. Especially when you at heart, you just a good person, you know, and we all make mistakes. We all say things that really shouldn't be said. But once we say it, where do we go from there? Are we mature enough? Mature. Some of us are not mature enough to get past a simple difference. A simple difference. We bang on our differences instead of building on what we have in common. That's what I don't get. And it's not only on this YouTube, you know what I'm saying, cyber world, cyber building. It's also in reality. It's also in the street, you know. But I think I went a little bit too far. We go bring it back in. Mississippi Black Caucus of local elected officials, MBCLEO, right? And so how I'm gonna tie it back in. Okay, cool. We're talking about knowing your role. What role would you play? You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what role to play, you just do you. Just do you until you find you know what I'm saying, find your role or let the role find you. You know, most of our um here in Copper culture, you know, we try to develop those skill sets. What are you good at? And work on those aspects to uh, uh, so the community can benefit. Not only just listening on a podcast, but we talking about real skills, hands-on, tangible, tangible intangibles. No, no, G, no, 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 no. Tangible. We're gonna leave it at tangible things you can touch. You know what I'm saying? Being hands-on and what I'm saying, building off of that. That's what we're about, man. You know, we good. You know, the books, the genealogy. You know what I'm saying? Finding out who your people are. It only goes so far. The other part is your position now within the system. How are you living right now? Don't you want to upgrade it? Don't you want a better life? Not only for you, but your kids. How do you want your kids to live? Are you passing on anything down for your kids to have an easier way of starting? Do they have, you know what I'm saying? Like, mm, I just feel like this was, how I'm moving, you know, with my business, you know what I'm saying? And my business is really, it ain't everybody, it ain't nobody else's, it's mine. And when I come over here and I try to, what I'm saying, merge some of the business talks that needs to be had within the community, I'm gonna bring that information over here and I'm gonna use my business as an example. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nobody trying to stunt. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not even a 100,000 there. By my business might be. We done blew through some money, but you know what I'm saying? It is proud of what you got right now. Jada Kid says about the money you blew. How much money you blew or invested? It don't matter. It don't even matter. Why are we talking? It don't even matter. It don't matter how much money you got. Or do it. I ain't trying to count it, but if ask yourself, you know what I'm saying? Are you happy with that? Do you want more? Are you working for more? Are you chasing that bag? Are you chasing that bag? So if they're trying to provide you with ways that you can chase that bag outside of what you got going, maybe supplemental income, right? To kind of complement and work with what you got, you can do it in your off time, downtime. Would you like stuff like that? Would you like something like that? Maybe I should get into that. I'm just rambling now. This really, I need to get to playing the video, man. But I ain't been on in a minute, and a lot been going on for the better. It's a lot of cleansing going on. It's a lot of conversations being had. A lot of important people. A lot of bosses at the table. You know what I'm saying? Intellectually sparring. Make it work. Somebody got to come on top. Somebody got to seal the deal. Somebody got to be the consumer. Somebody got to be the manufacturer. What role are we gonna play? If you're gonna play in the system, don't you want it to be an even playing field? Don't you want a fair chance at whatever it is that you want? This is what this build about. This is me, and and I'm willing to build with anybody. I don't, white people too. I'm not on that. I feel like we're past that. You know what I'm saying? I think we're past that. Not that you should find white people to build with, but when it comes to research, programs, you know, that you may could take advantage of to help your situation, it might be a white person or two you may have to go through to be able to get it. So cut the crap. I don't think the white people right now is the true enemy. I think the real demon is, it lies inside our own problems, our own lifestyle, our own economic development, our own economic resource powerhouse, reserve, something, funds. We don't have it. How could we get access to the funds? 'Cause at the end of the day, it is about money. You say it ain't about money, but yeah. It really runs this mother world. This mother world. It makes the world go round. Actually, that's not fact because the Earth is stationary, right? Let me stop. Hey, but we want equal playing field. That's what that's the game. That's really the game. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care your grandma Indian not. Look, you know, we want a better playing position in this game, and however, whatever angle you take to get to that, man, I'm on your side, yo, cause we all are in this in the same position. We all in the same position. Are we not? Indian, Aborigine, Hebrew, Moor, hell, probably a Mormon. Oh, you know what I'm talking about? Like, shit, we all in the same boat, man. And man, there's so much stuff I want to get out, but I'm gonna try to keep it, you know, to the T, right? So when I'm talking about this leveling out the playing field, here's an example. Well, I continue. Well, initially started the live in my last build, and I wanted to continue it. And let me go ahead and share my screen because this is the foundation of kind of me getting into politics is through um, Miss Debrah Delgado. She is city councilwoman, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and having a business relationship with her, I would, as a graphic designer, at the time, I still do, design and stuff, but at the time, this was back in like '05, '07, and what were you doing back then, man? '05, '07. Were you in politics? Were you about your people then? Were you about your people? '05, '07. What you got going on around that time? But I had, through a war media group, which is a media group. I did uh, different print, different design, media, all that good stuff, photo, video. Woo, woo, woo. I have that down, and I had the opportunity because we had corporate accounts. They were working with the city, the media group, and so I got a lot of experience out of that using cameras and stuff. But now that's what I do. Now that's what I do. But hey, you only live once, man. YOLO. You only live, man. What you gonna do with it? I'm having fun, and I want to spread some of that energy to y'all, some of that info to y'all, so y'all can have fun too. And we're gonna get into that, you know, and not to try to have this all on some sort of indigenous stuff. That's it, cool. But what I'm saying, there's other things that we can, dip and dabble in and be able to come together and make something happen, and we take it up a notch from now. So yeah, like Miss Deborah Delgado, she opened up my eyes. She opened up that political arena for me to kind of experiment, not necessarily experiment, but experience. You know what I'm saying? Like how that works in a sense. Not knee deep in it, right? But to get a glance on the who are in position right now to help you, not only to help you, but or to build with, to share, to come together under one collective, regardless of ideology, but the narrative is for the people. Now, this caucus that she brought me to, which is, what I'm saying, MBCLEO, I was I had the opportunity to design pamphlets for them, their programs for them. So inside the programs list all the elected officials, not all, I would say all the black elected officials. Hmm. That who's who. So not only you're talking about one voice in a particular ward or district, you know what I'm saying? a small portion of the city. It's like it's at the ground roots, and then you get everybody else that's in, different cities and things like that, who are black. What position you got over there? Oh, you black over there. Oh, I'm saying black, but hey, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what they got on paper right now. So hey, uh, you got black people, you got color folk, you got people of color, however you want to put it, under or let me retract that a little while ago. Um, you got people that are like-minded, man, that you should be building with. It's a little easier. It's a little easier. And of course, this is coming from the Democratic side. Okay. Uh, I'm not sure if it's any Republican. That's a good question. I just asked myself that and answered it. And what? And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should look more into it. But I'm gonna share my page, and this will give you a little glimpse before we get into the second half of the video. I just want to make sure that premise is out there, so you kind of understand where I'm coming from when I'm showing these videos. All right. Let me see. Let's see. Boom. 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 Here we go. Here we go. Mississippi Black Caucus of Local Elected Officials. Okay. Make sure you go check them out, MBCLEO.org. Okay, we're just going to go right here on about us. All right. The Mississippi Black Caucus of Local Elected Official, better known as MBCLEO, was created in 1986 to represent the interests of African American elected officials in the state of Mississippi. Now, if this may seem like a good idea to you, you should look into your own state and see who's doing the good works. Miss Debrah Delgado, I was fortunate enough, blessed to be able to get to know her, you know what I'm saying, to work alongside with her and learn a few things. I'm not a politician. I'm not up here telling you to vote this, and the third, but let's have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? What's really gonna change our situation if you're not really trying to if you're not into the land patents and the genealogy and finding out your people were the original landlords of this land, Turtle Island. If you're not going that route, then what are you doing? You're gonna have to vote. You're gonna have to vote. Simple as that. And not only, you know what I'm saying, like the presidential election, but on the local level is where that's where all the game is at. That's what you know what I'm saying, that what affects you the most is on the local level. Now I learned that. So, you know what I'm saying, I've been supporting uh those who I say are like-minded, who have a vision and a narrative that 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 resonate with me, and I feel like that benefits not only me but the people. Let's keep moving. MBCLEO's objectives include increasing African American participation on the Mississippi Municipal Leagues, better known as MML, board of directors and committees to ensure the policy and program recommendations reflect African American concerns and benefit the communities. The organization also works independently with its members to inform them on issues affecting the African American community and helps to devise ways to achieve their community objectives through legislation and direct action. So when we're talking about doing the work, this is the work. This is part of the work. This is work. And when you know your role and know the lane that you want to do the work in, you are just as important. This is just only this is just a slaw. Is that even a word? This is just a slight, or I don't even know if that was the word I was trying to. I don't know why it came out. Oh man, it's just a small avenue of many that you can take, and it is incorporated as a nonprofit organization under the laws of the state of Mississippi. Okay, so they out here creating. We can make we can start nonprofits. I don't know how y'all feel about starting nonprofits with strangers and other like-minded individuals, even though, hey, however you work it out and you trust that individual, work it out. It's nonprofit organization. Should be about the people. All right. It's incorporated as a nonprofit in the state of Mississippi. MBCLEO conducts its annual meetings in conjunction with the MML conference. MBCLEO membership and categories. You can be a regular member, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And for more information, see your application, blah, 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 Vicksburg, Mississippi, work. Okay. You got 2020 officers, kind of programs they got. They tell about their policy through participation on the members community. Sound like the same thing. We're going to keep members of advisors, comments, and advocates pilot positions that reflect the interests of the African American community. Okay. So yeah, I mean, hey, they got this word here, but just know, you know what I'm saying, you haven't been always called African American. African American actually consists of more than people who are of African descent. So when you're talking about an African American, please don't take it literally. All right, that we're talking about Africans, because we are not just Africans. All right, and that's a fact. MBCLEO is also partnered with the African American state and national organization and support issues affecting the national and local government's agenda. Okay, it's always an agenda. Which agenda are you supporting? Right now, I'm supporting whoever is about, the benefit. I don't know what my is that, y'all. My words, my mouth, and left, my tongue don't want to bend like it's supposed to. But, y'all know what the hell I'm trying to say, man. All right, so let's continue. Finally, about 45 minutes in. Man, if you still with me right now, man, I so appreciate you. It means so much to me. If I see a little like on the side, hit that like button for me. Hit that like button for me. If you tune in this far, man, hit that like button for me. You can share it too if you want, but I just appreciate you tuning in. I just get this out my system, because once it's out, it's up there, man. And you can move forward, because you can always go back. This will always be here, either after I'm gone. It's on right? Shout out Debrah Delgado anyway. City Councilwoman. You know, Hub City stand up, Gulf Coast stand up. But let's get into the bill. This the second half of the bill that I was playing yesterday. You know, and we're talking about, you know, leveling out the playing field.
Some more of those eggs. We're not talking about more than. We're just trying to be equal. And that's a doggone shame in 2021.
Next slide. The MBCLEO.
I have a question
Yes, ma'am.
about the disparity of the franchises. So is it true that people that look like you and I are not given the prime opportunities to open up businesses in prime locations? As possibly being one of the reasons why there is unique economically differences in the businesses. Is it your location that McDonald's corporate is offering people of color? Because I do believe that when you're in prime location, that you don't have that gap, the disparity in your finances. So I believe that's one area that should be issued. Now, I don't see anything wrong with having locations in your neighborhood. You're offering jobs. But what about in your prime locations where your areas are generally the people that live in those areas, their incomes are basically higher.
So you're asking a great question, and thank you for the question. McDonald's really is a big real estate company. And real estate, as you know, it's location, location, location. And we, as a Black group of owner operators, we need those prime locations. And we haven't gotten those. We haven't gotten a lot of inner city stores, but those inner city stores typically cost more to do business. So if you have lower sales, you have added security possibly, you have a little higher theft, you have things that are not quite the same as if you're out in the suburb, but yet you're still held to the same standard. So I'm still saying, when you walk out of here, the educational piece is 2.9 if you're white, location, prime, 2 million if you're Black. All around America is not happenstance.
So to speak to that, we took a few slides from the MBCLEO 2020 second quarter board meeting. Larry Triplett is the chairman and CEO of the MBCLEO, and these numbers were provided to him by McDonald's. Next slide. So if you look and see in 2010, there were 285 African-American franchisees. At the end of 2020, you'll see there was 186 African-American franchisees. And in 2010, you saw all franchisees at 2,236. And in 2020, you saw them at 1,608. Next slide. No, go back. Okay, so look at the same years and the same correlations, and you'll see where all franchisees increased, where the African-American franchises decreased. And those Caucus stores, those are McDonald-owned stores, which they are trying to eliminate because they're in fear of the fight for 15, because McDonald's doesn't want a union. So you can see the average store sizes for African Americans and the average store size for everyone. And if you notice the difference in those numbers across the board, all the African American numbers seem to be less than the overall. Next slide. Okay, so these are your store composites. And you can see the numbers and you see the differences in these numbers. Next slide. And here's that cash flow gap that we were talking about. And if you go back to 2010, it started out at $19,000. And then 2011, 22,000, 2012, 25, 2013, 27, 2014, 38, 2015, 46, 2016, 2017, 68, 2018, 67, 2019, 65, 2020, 56,000. Well, this is the averages. So when the Bird Brothers were telling you about the $140,000 cash flow gap in the Nashville BMOA, that's not represented in this slide. But that cash flow gap still exists today, and they have been trying to fix it, so-called. Next slide. So you can see the average cash flow trends across the country. If you go just start at 2010 and look at all the way to 2020, there's a distinct gap. And this is not by chance. This is all financial engineering. Next slide. See the gap. 2010, we were up 15. Go to 2013, we're still up. And then in 2014, they're taking it all back. They start to take it all back. And so they go 2015, 39,000, 2016, 82,000, 2017, 106,000, 2018, 86,000, 2019, 78,000, 2020, 76,000. Next slide. So when Larry Tripler went to McDonald's and they were discussing this, they were in negotiations. And those negotiations didn't start to have fruition until we filed a lawsuit. And so in response to the lawsuit, McDonald's hired a chief restaurant officer named Mason Smoot. And they sent Mason Smoot to all the BMO, National Black McDonald's across the country to fix their rents. And in some cases, they even absorbed some of those operators' debt so that they wouldn't have any obligations to quiet them. And so they have not come to see the Bird Brothers because the Bird Brothers are seen to be the rebel rousers. Okay, next slide. Okay, so these are the gross violations that are documented in the Birds' lawsuit. So you'll see this steering Black franchisees to inner city neighborhoods with low volume sales, high security and insurance costs, and constant employee turnover. Retaliating against Black franchisees for rejecting strong arm offers to continue operations in crime-ridden neighborhoods. Denying Black franchisees meaningful assistance during financial hardships, while white franchisees are routinely given support, excluding Black franchisees for the same growth opportunities found at safer, higher volume, lower cost stores offered to whites. Failing to provide any legitimate business reasons for repeated denial of franchise opportunities over many years. Unfairly grading the operations of Black franchisees will resulted in poor internal review, effectively pushing Black franchisees out of the McDonald's system by denying them the eligibility for growth and fair franchise terms. Providing misleading projections, which included Black franchisees to purchase undesirable franchises. And Darryl going to tell you his story about that.
So when I told you about that first restaurant that I opened in 1998, after turning down 3 restaurants, and 1998 was the year when you saw we had really formed this parity alliance operators. And so they offered me a store, and I knew kind of 3 strikes. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to make a move on this one. So they offered me a store, but it was like in a gas station. So I was proud to have it and everything. But my first store, you know, it was one of the first ones where you had like a McDonald's and a gas station. But I'm thinking, man, my brother got all the big shiny buildings, and I got the gas station. But so that store was projected, they told me, to do $1.1 million the first year. So all my financials were done based on $1.1 million. But the store actually did $700,000 the first year. But I'm still paying on the $1.1 million projection. So my first store was like, geez, I took a hit for the first couple of years. And then, you know, we finally got that right. They offered me another location 4 years later. So I got another store 4 years later, a full store. And that was a pretty good store. And that I made money with that one, and it covered the losses from the other one. So I had 2 stores, and I was just like even. So that's kind of the way the system goes. And you keep grinding it out, and you work hard, and you do all these dumpster dives, and you go in, you're trying to get every penny. Literally go in the trash bag, and you pull out all the ketchup packets and see if you could increase your yields. We do all that stuff. And then when the whistleblowers from McDonald's Corporation laid out all these things that were happening, I'm like, God, so it's not just me. It's like 377 other people that are doing this too. So, but that's just to give you an idea, because you'll say, well, why do you take a deal like that? But you can only really take a deal based upon the numbers or the projections that your franchisor gives you, because you trust in their numbers. That's all you have to go by. So that happens quite a bit, and so you're kind of upside down, and that's part of the financial engineering part that we're talking about. It limits you from having the equity to turn over to your family and building a legacy like you should.
So Jim was going to tell you about how in 2014, McDonald's, they used to have 8 stores together at one time. Jim had 4 stores and Darryl had 4 stores. And so Jim will tell you how they systematically took the 4 good stores and left them with 3 bad stores and 1 good store. And they sold those stores at that time to the largest McDonald's operator in the system named Fred Tillman, who just so happened to be a white guy from Memphis, Tennessee.
So one of the things that happens, and goes back to the question the young lady mentioned. Can you hear me back in the back?
Yes.
Okay. Business-wise, you've noticed that you'll see like the old style McDonald's, and then we started trying to refurbish and make the buildings look a little nicer and fresher, a different style. So as an operator, you have a license to that one store, that one restaurant. And so McDonald's came back and wanted to move or relocate the store down the street, like 0.8 miles, and one of them miles. But you're going to take debt that you have on your one store and have to open another store. And to be honest with you, financially, I wasn't strong enough to do that. And it didn't make sense to me to stack debt on top of debt. Therefore, we sold those stores.
You're talking about the Walmarts.
Another, you hear a number because people, they refuse to believe if you have a McDonald's, you're rich. They think you're printing that money. I saw you laughing because you're one of those young ladies.
Yeah.
But in fact, it's a business. So if you do 2.9 million in sales, you still have labor, rent, food costs, all that stuff to take care of. Then you make a little money if everything goes right. And when I started out, one of the rules is they licensed one store. That was the rule. One location per person. And then you start thinking, well, I knew a guy that got 20 at one time. And so I only say that because there's rules, then there's rules. And why is there a difference sometimes?
So in this fight, we're just not fighting about money. We're fighting about change. We can go to the next slide.
Check, make sure y'all still weapon, man. But you see what he's saying, man. We ain't just fighting about money. Money is a part of it's about money, but it's the principle. I'm not going to be doing the same thing you doing, and you No. And you bringing in more than I am. You know, I bring in two, you bring in two. You make 100,000, I make 50,000, and we brought in the same exact thing. Like what? That don't make sense. So we try to make sense of everything and building on that.
So we've offered up some programmatic changes to McDonald's, and so we offered them a minority Black franchisee fund to have 3 7-year terms consecutively, because the franchise agreements that they sign are 20-year leases, which means that they're not actually the owner of these stores. The misconception is that they call them owner operators only because they own the equipment in the stores and they operate the store. So at the end of the day, it's McDonald's property, McDonald's name, McDonald's everything, and it's basically just shack property. So we said to them was to create this Black franchise fund, and for them to capitalize it along with their national and regional lenders, because McDonald's has an approved lender program in which the big banks from Citibank to Wells Fargo to JP Morgan and all of them participate, and then they have regional lenders as well, which region banks, I think Matt talked about Regions and some of the others, Trustmark, but all of them are part of McDonald's regional lenders. So we're saying to allow the minority-owned investment firms and banks, CDFIs and MDIs, which are in some of your communities here in Mississippi, to allow them to manage this money so they can make money, and they'll have a better, feel and a better, relationship with these franchisees, and they'll understand their plights a lot more than their, counterparts. And so in order to regrow the National Black McDonald Operators Association, that's part of the reason for the fund. And we want that to be based on a minimum 10% year increase based on par with the Black customers, representing 30% of McDonald's gross sales. Next slide. So we want them to also look at there need to be some changes in the franchise agreements and the policies. And we offered up to them to do this with the current franchisor and the former franchisee committee, because these people understand what's going on, the challenges, the oppositions, So we want them to have a balanced committee, because, like we said earlier, is that over 100 Black McDonald's pushed out of the system between 2010 and 2020. And back to what Jim was saying about the Black executive management, we want them to restore those 42 Black executive positions lost between CEOs Don Thompson and Steve Easterbrook. And we want them to make a public disclosure of the EEOC 1 diversity requirements. So we want a diversity and inclusion executive development program, so we can develop some our own people at these HBCUs and these MBA programs, so that they too one day can become CEOs of McDonald's like Don Thompson did, Next slide. So, they talked about these minority suppliers. One of the things that one of the board members, John Rogers, who you'll read about, is that he said that McDonald's spent aggregately $1 billion with minority suppliers. That sounds like a big, but it's really not, because McDonald's has one supplier named Martin Brower that grosses $32 billion. Okay, so we want to put together another former franchisee and current franchisee committee to come up with some new, African American suppliers, so we can get that number up to 32 billion that Martin Brower is. So, and also we told them that, they're not being fair and equitable with the advertising, because these operators pay a 4% advertising fee to McDonald's. 2% of it goes to the local co-op and 2% goes to the national fund. And 30% of the gross sales of McDonald's comes from the Black community. So we want a franchisee and current and former franchisee committee to, to create a fair and equitable advertising program so they can spend this money with Black and owned advertising firms. If you didn't see yesterday, there was an article in Variety where Ice Cube and Junior Bridgman, which owns Ebony now, and Byron Allen and all of them signed a deal, a letter to General Motors, because General Motors spends 0.5% of their advertising budget with Black-owned media companies. Okay. So next slide. So they're not being fair and equitable to with the HBCUs and Black causes and organizations based on the 30% of their gross sales coming from the Black community. So we want the McDonald's and the current and former franchisee committee to get that as well. Okay, so when we launched Don't Be McFooled in Chicago on the 22nd of February in front of McDonald's headquarters, and this is one of the slogans that we came up with. Don't get McFooled. On that day, McDonald's market cap was 156 billion, and only 1.5% goes back to the Black community. Only 1,318 out of 38,696 stores are Black owned, even though 30% of sales from McDonald's comes from the Black community. Next slide. So that's why we're here today. Each one teach one. We want all of y'all to go out and tell all your, constituents, all the members of your community about what's going on with McDonald's. Next slide. Which is why we have launched this public awareness campaign, Don't Be McFooled. The Black Clergy campaign we launched in Memphis at Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church on Sunday, February 28th, Pastor Donald Johnson. And we're working on the HBCU awareness campaign, which is typically April 22nd in Nashville. We're going to hit Fisk, Meharry, American Baptist, and Tennessee State University. Today we launched the Black Elected Official campaign thanks to Councilwoman Delgado and the Mississippi Black Caucus of local elected officials. And these are some generated by the campaigns that we've launched so far. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. So if we don't get some fair and equitable solutions out of McDonald's, we're going to boycott. And the boycott, the name of the boycott is 365 Black, 365 No Mac, because McDonald's has masterfully crafted a narrative in the Black community called 365 Black and Positively Golden. And so they trickled some money into the Black community through the churches, through HBCUs. And so now, we're gonna turn that around and we're gonna take that brand equity, that brand architecture, and we're gonna tell the real story about what McDonald's has done in the Black community. Next slide. So, this is our contact information. I think did everyone get a packet? So whoever didn't get a packet, come see me at the end of this and I'll give you one. And, next slide. That's it. So if y'all, any more questions, we're here.
I'm glad that you're here today telling the side about McDonald's and the Black community. Also, I've heard the Magic Johnson story too. There's a lot of discrimination when it comes to Black business and how financial institutions suppress the Black community. And your story, like I said, I heard the Magic Johnson, your story is going a little more in depth. we heard it in Pittsburgh, that we heard it at the Black Caucus. And so she was going into a little more detail. See, they struggled with that. They was in the Black community, what you had to offer. Y'all probably, you're basically all McDonald's offered the same product, correct?
Yeah.
But see, the Mac Johnson, or they had to say, I'm going into this community, but I'm offering Starbucks coffee, but, you know, black people don't, you know, like French promote some, they don't know anything about some of the people in the community, so they couldn't sell it. So what y'all catered to, then y'all wanted to make these companies do for the people in the black community. And I think that y'all have a very excellent story with the telling, and you're getting involved with HBCU. And it just goes to show you, it doesn't make any difference how much money you have, because man, that thing of money is financial resources. He had to go to somebody who had to believe in him. He got his money, but that person wasn't black. I think it was somebody else. But see, like I say, y'all started off the hard way. You almost got to get on your knees and beg these people who don't look like us for the money.
So I know we've been here a long time, and just thank you for even listening. There was a question that I didn't answer properly. At one point, I had 3 Walmarts. And when you go to Walmart, you see the little snack bars that are in there. So I had 3 of those. And that investment's about $140,000, $150,000. Well, when McDonald's decides to close those, you have nothing except some equipment. And so typically you're buying something that you think you're going to be able to sell at some point for a cash value. But 3 of those stores I did have, that's not a great number, are deemed to be of no value. And I had another hospital store that was about the same way. So out of my 8, I had 4 stores that were that way. I was happy to get them because they're McDonald's, you know, and you want to do the right thing because McDonald's asked you. And my belief still was to try to work within the system, like the brothers and sisters always have, until I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. Somebody had a question over here.
Are you tired of being sick and tired? Are you tired of being sick and tired? And that's basically where we at right now to go about change. And feel me, man. Hey, I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. We're gonna wrap this up, man. Shout out to Debrah Delgado for the live. This was one of it wasn't a city, I don't think it was a city council meeting. It may have been, but no, it wasn't. It was through the Mississippi Black Caucus of local elected officials meeting, and she just went live, and I kind of restreamed it on our page so that my network of people and community that I'm involved in, we'll be able to see how some of these differences are prevalent and obvious, that action is needed. You know, excuse me, we're not accepting, we're just not accepting it. You know, we're tired of being sick and tired. You got a problem with me getting, ooh, what up, Mr. But yeah, man, we're gonna wrap this thing on up, and I appreciate everybody. We rolling around about an hour and 15. So, you know, peace and blessings to everybody out there tuned in, whether you peeped in here on the live or you catch it on the playback, man. I hope there's many blessings for y'all. If you will, hit that like button, subscribe if you ain't subscribed already. Make sure you do your genealogy, find out who your people are, and man, just do you. Stay in your lane. You know, whatever positivity you can bring to the table, it's all accepted. And you know, we're just gonna leave it like that. if you wanted to reach out, collab, whatever, make sure, let me put this back over there. Yeah. Look at it like that. Yeah. If you want to reach out to me, you can hit me at BROTHERLAWRENCE228 at gmail.com. That's Brother Lawrence 228 at gmail.com, man. And again, appreciate you tuning in, man. We're probably gonna rock tomorrow because I do plan on bringing on another brother who I had the pleasure of working with, Jock Keaton, man. He's been very instrumental in the city of Malls Point down here on the Gulf Coast. And I'm gonna bring him on. So, and he ran for mayor, right? And I was kind of behind some of the marketing strategies, or not necessarily strategies. He came up with strategies that just helped him implement it and to bring it to life. You know what I'm saying, through the media or Facebook, the platforms in which you know what I'm saying, you look at news, videos, or photos or whatever. So that's gonna be a great build, man, because not only he's um, no longer in Moss Point per se physically, he has uh, elevated to be a part of something big in the state capital. Salute to that brother, man. I can't wait to get to build with him this Thursday, right? And yeah, man, this brother Lawrence 228, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We out of this thing. Peace.